Scuderia.
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 Hey there, friends. Coming back at you with another episode of the Pre-Ride Show, brought to you by FSA. I am here with none other than the champion, Amity Rockwell. Amity, thanks for joining us. What's going on?
Of course. What's going on?
I know you've been through the media gauntlet already today, so we're glad you're sitting down with us here for a few minutes.
Yeah, what a rush. I'm so happy to be back in Emporia.
Yeah.
It feels surreal.
I'll bet. Let's start here, because I've asked a lot of people this question. I'm very curious. What was the lockdown like for you in terms of your athletic interest? Was it a reset? Was it a time to just escape and kind of regroup? Or was it a time to do some really, really focused training?
I rode less last year than I have in like my entire career. Yeah, I am not scared to say that. Yeah, it was definitely a reset, and it was a reevaluation of like why I ride and why I do what I do. I ran a lot more, jumped in the ocean every now and then. Got even harder into baking than I was in before.
Ooh, what's the specialty? What's your
bread? Always bread.
Okay.
Yeah, one of those people. So yeah, I, had a garden. Did all the things that I generally neglect in favor of bike racing, but that meant fewer miles. And I felt bad about it at the time until a few months ago when I realized I had all this like pent up energy that I just saved, and I turned something on, and I've been doing all these crazy weeks and crazy rides, and it's been absolute heaven. So
you came at bike racing though kind of in a roundabout way. Maybe it wasn't necessarily your first passion, but you had an obvious engine for it when you jumped into it. What was that like? And when people would come at you and say, wow, you have a natural ability for this that you may not have known that you had.
Yeah, I mean, if running teaches you anything, it's how to suffer and enjoy it. So I think we all know how well that translates to this sport. So yeah, and then the endurance engine is something I can thank my parents for. So
let's talk about the win a couple years ago. How did that race unfold for you personally? Like, what was going on, and then whereabouts did you take that lead and carry it to the finish line?
It was a very slow burn. I was the second to last call up that morning. So I started in a good position, and then, as I do, slowly drifted back. Because I am not, by nature an aggressive rider, I think. So yeah, came into mile 50, like 13th, thereabouts. And one by one, people started having, little issues. That isn't to say I had, a perfect race. But it was mostly pretty dreamy, to be honest. And I just felt better and better throughout the day, which, has always been my strength, is like being able to turn it on really late.
Was it but winning that, it puts you on the radar, obviously, of everybody's, notification that you are someone to be reckoned with in the sport. Was that easy to handle? Did that come naturally to you?
No. There is part of me that loves it. So I'm not going to complain about it. But there was definitely like a few weeks of like reckoning with it all and being like, oh wow, like, it suddenly really matters, like what I say and how I interact with people, and like, all of a sudden people want my like opinions on things that I haven't necessarily even formed an opinion on, because I've only been bike racing for like a handful of years. So it was quite the rush. I don't know. I think I get like a little bit more comfortable with it every year, but there's definitely some social anxiety hurdles to get over in that sense.
Well, you said in a recent post, and I'm paraphrasing here, but that you almost prefer training to racing.
Yes.
Why is that?
It's so funny. Everybody's fixating on that, and I'm like, is that such a crazy thing to say?
No, not necessarily. But I just want to know more of the why behind it, because a racer at the highest level typically would say, racing is the thing, that's the reason I train. But I got the sense more that you appreciate just the camaraderie and the concept of the training. The racing is great and you enjoy it, and I don't want to speak for you, but like, what's the difference between the two for you?
Don't get me wrong. I am a very competitive person. I love to destroy people in events, and I love that. It is very little of why I ride a bike. I think it enables my like day-to-day life as a cyclist that I'm so in love with.
Okay.
So
I think that's fascinating.
Well, I mean, I also live in one of the most like beautiful places on earth, and I'm surrounded by a fantastic community of people who like push and inspire me to do like crazier and crazier things. And it's just like, I mean, you ride in Marin like once, like you'll understand.
Yes. Absolutely gorgeous. What does the rest of the calendar look like for you for your racing season?
If there is a big gravel race, I'm there.
You gonna see a BWR?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Barring scheduling complications and overlaps, which, we've been forced into a little bit this year without a spring season. But basically everything, I plan on it. I have to. It's my job now. So
You're handling it really well. Tell us about this Pinarello Scuderia program.
Scuderia Pinarello is a collection of individuals from a very wide range of backgrounds. There's, myself, who is a pure gravel athlete, I would say. We have Jess Sarah, who has this amazing road career behind her.
Hi, Jess.
And she's pivoted to gravel and now has her own event. So, I mean, she's in deeper than I am. Kai Lenny, who's a surfer, Jamie Bestwick, who's a BMX legend, Anthony, who's like this insanely involved community dude, Mari Holden, like the list is like, it's crazy. It's just stacked with people who have become like the best at what they do. And that is so inspiring to be around. So.
No, you do a great job with it, as well as all the other brands you represent so well, and yourself on the social media. Best of luck on Saturday. I know, I hope you don't feel like any pressure on you. I clearly sense that you're just very comfortable, at peace with all this, and I know that you're going to go out there and just go like hell on Saturday. So best of luck to you.
I do love it.
That's clear. That's clear. Amity Rockwell joining us on this episode of the Pre-Ride Show. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe on the YouTube channel and hit the little bell so you get notifications of all of our future episodes as they drop throughout the next couple of days. Thanks for tuning in.